I'm going to give you guys 5 expectations that you should lose as a man dealing with a working woman. The first expectation is that she's going to cook for you every day. If she's working and she's working just as hard as you are, she's going to be very tired when she comes from work. So it's probably best that you guys switch other cook, or you might want to do a dinner date throughout the week. 2, for you to expect.
So, we coming at you with another video from the homie Bianca. Cooking. Bruh. First of all, fellas, if you got a working woman and she's helping you pay the bills, not a popular opinion, you can't expect her to have the food ready by the time you get home, especially if she's getting home, slightly before you or after you. Some women can do it, some women can't. But if you're paying all the bills and you can afford to have a stay-at-home woman that's being kept, then by all means. So at the same time, a lot of dudes like myself, I can cook my own food, but if I'm covering everything and you just sitting around the house, that's not gonna work. Nah. But I wouldn't expect a woman who's really working the same hours as me or working later to, that's just a roommate at this point. So yeah, if you living with me, nah.
That she does not have any men that are pursuing her while she's with you and she's a working woman. The reality of it is, women who work have men that she has to work with on a daily basis. And she's going to get approached by very well educated men with money and very fine looking men who want to take your spot. But if you are securing yourself, you realize that your working woman is with you for a reason, and you should not feel jealous or insecure. 3, you expect.
Bro, if you got a working woman, women gonna get hit on everywhere. From the grocery store to the shitter, when she's in the bathroom, by lesbians, by dudes just walking down the street. If you got an attractive woman, you gotta especially if you got a baddie, that's a 9. Even if you don't have a baddie, women because dudes is just so thirsty in general. Especially if she's at work, you gotta understand about women. When they're at work, especially if whether they have a work husband or not, and they work with dudes, it's just natural to flirt. It's gonna happen. Calls, especially you guys who dating these girls working at call centers, or any woman involved in any type of customer service, there's dudes that's gonna be coming in. If she works behind a desk, there's gonna be FedEx guys coming in. Her boss is hitting on her, and she may not tell you. Maybe she does tell you that her boss or supervisor is hitting on her. It just happens. It's part of the game. Not the game, but it's just the way this world is. Now, on the other part of this, if you will, if she works with a bunch of women and men come in, that scarcity of seeing men throughout the day, they're going to be talking about how this dude looks, or comparing notes with each other. Would you sleep with him? Would you do this? Or he could totally get it. Women talk like this to pass the time, and that herd mentality, if one thinks he's attractive or starts talking about him being attractive, she'll play into it and have this fantasy. So this is how women think, guys. So if you're insecure, then, have her quit her job if you can afford it. But even so, a woman has to be secure. Women have to have attention. That's just how women are. They have to have attention from both men and women. And even if they're with a dude, they still want attention from men. They want to feel beautiful. Women want to feel wanted. Just how it is.
To have a clean home every time you come home? Well, if you're with a working woman, she's just as tired as you are. And so it's best to learn different coping mechanisms as clean as you go. Otherwise, if your house gets a mess, you better expect that it's going to be looking a mess a couple of days out of the week, or you guys need to share duties as to who cleans what and when they clean them. 4.
I can't stand a filthy woman. I can't stand a woman that doesn't clean up after herself. And a lot of times, especially if it's a single mother, it's very rare that, and not to say it doesn't exist, but you can kind of judge a woman's car. I've yet to really encounter a woman that really keeps a clean car, just in general. But the house It may be clean when you go to show up, you know, to smash or take her on a date, but a lot of times it's stuff everywhere. You have to get a woman whose stuff is together. And if you are dealing with the woman, like off top, and you notice she doesn't have the best, you know, hygiene habits or the house, keeping the house clean, imagine what that's going to be when she comes and moves in with you. You have to think about these things, guys. That's why a woman living with me, it would have to, I can't see it anytime soon. A woman actually living in my house. I would have to see, she would have to mirror me in that aspect in terms of cleanliness and keeping the house clean. You know, picking up after yourself and leaving stuff around. Because I would just lose it coming home to like, you sitting on your ass. I've been there, done that, guys. You sitting on your ass on social media when there's dishes in the sink and clothes that need to be done. Nah, check that. But if you're a nasty ass dude, it probably doesn't matter to you.
To expect a woman to look glamorous all the time, 100% of the time, and she's a working woman, she's not going to have a lot of time to do self-care. She's still learning how to balance it. And so you need to be flexible with the fact that she might not have her nails done or hair done 24/7. 6.
Fellas, she needs to keep up how you met her. And likewise, women will take that extra time. Women will be late to work. Women, you see women all the time at a stoplight putting on their makeup, lipstick, and all these other things just to look good. Not just for men, but for other women, or to be presentable, especially if she's in customer service. But this accessories and all this stuff she puts on, it takes a woman to really be on top to actually come home, on top of her stuff, to come home and still look like that. There's expectations, but a woman should want to be pretty for you. She should want to be the coolness of your eyes. And likewise, if you're in a serious relationship, you should want to be as attractive to her as possible, but she definitely should want to be as attractive, because she should want that attention from you. And how she looks, how she appears to you, says a lot about how much she cares about you. But if she was to go out on a date with some man randomly, I bet she wouldn't look like that. So that says a lot about how much a woman cares about you, is the upkeep and how she presents herself to you. So if you move her in and all that shit stops, you know, I know Bianca's referring to a working woman, but this is things that you guys have to understand. If you got a woman that's working and she's busting her ass to help pay half or help paying most of the bills, and you just still expecting this, you got to reevaluate some things. Facts.
The 6th one is, if you expect her to be sexually active 100% of the time when she has a cycle each month, well, that already takes 7 days out of the month. And then if you consider the 7 days before her cycle, where she's going through emotional ups and downs before her cycle, and then the 7 days after the cycle in which her body is trying to normalize and get a great pH balance so she doesn't smell crazy or feel crazy, you need to consider those things when dealing with a working woman and just a regular woman. Those things matter. 7.
Bianca, speak for yourself. You talking about a 14-day window of not smashing or whatever. Guys, when you're dealing with a woman, you should already know well before she moves in or working or whatever, if you're going to choose to have a serious relationship with her, or if she's just going to be a casual woman you deal with, what the sex life is going to be between you and her. If she's not like that and you're into having sex a lot, and if she's not and you still decide to pursue and keep it going, you should already know what to expect at that point. And a lot of guys can say, well, she changed once she moved in. Once I moved in, or we moved in together. Then that's something you need to reevaluate, bro. Or figure out what it is that you're doing, because women will get comfortable a lot of times, and if you knew she was previously sexual or had a high libido and sex drive, then all of a sudden that shit dries up. You have to reevaluate some things to see what she's got going on the side and what's happening, you know, because that's not going to work. You know what I mean? Always remember, with women, the sexual energy, if it was present, it has to go somewhere. When you guys aren't talking, if you guys go weeks without talking, if you guys go months without talking, that sexual energy has to go somewhere. Don't let women fool you guys. It has to go somewhere. Unless there's something completely wrong and, postpartum and all these other things like that will affect her sex drive. Or sometimes it could just be you. But if you used to smashing on the regular, then you might want to reevaluate some things and see what's going on here. But that 14-day stuff, women smash on their cycle, and dudes want to smash on the cycle. You know what I'm saying? What they call it, getting your red wings and all this stuff like that. A lot of women prefer sex on their cycle. You know what I'm saying? It's just about how nasty you trying to get with it, man.
You wanting her to stroke your ego by feeling needy and wanting you to help with everything. As a working woman, a lot of working women will just try to get things done because they know that you work too. And so they're not trying to stroke your ego. Is not that they don't want to stroke your ego. They're just used to working just like you do. And so they have the get it done mentality. So if you're looking for her to stroke your ego by saying, honey, I need this, I need that. Can you do this? Can I do that? The working woman is not going to do that. And you need to drop that unrealistic expectation.
Well, that's where you have house rules and you set some ground rules and expectations if you guys are living together. Once again, it goes back to if this was being done before and it's not being done, or if you have specific chores or specific things that people do, anything you do, she should be able to do as well, and vice versa when it comes to these things. If you have a back rub, you get your back rub, feet rub, a lot of these, what she was talking about with food being prepared, bath water being ran, all this stuff like that, and you have a woman clipping your toenails and massaging your beard and your neck and all this stuff, and that's understood, then it should continue. If it doesn't continue, then like I said, we need to reevaluate what's going on here and why. If you have a happy woman, she looks forward to doing these things. She wants to do these things. And when she does these things, she knows that you're going to treat her in a certain manner as well. So, but don't get me wrong, fellas. There are a lot of women that are ungrateful. And you guys need to stop treating these women and putting them up on a pedestal if they're ungrateful. A lot of women expect a lot just by the nature of them being a woman. But in terms of what Bianca's talking about, I know obviously she's speaking from a standpoint of dating and being a working woman, but you dealing with a working woman, guys. If you're not really, especially if you're living together, if you're not really taking that load off or whatever, then she's really, and you got women that are going to go above and beyond when they're working and put you first at the same time. But understand certain things come along with that. This woman still has to provide. If you're not getting to the point or you feel like she's worthy of you chasing a serious relationship, this woman still has to provide for her side of the things. She has a certain lifestyle that you're coming into her life at a certain point. She's used to having certain bags, certain clothing, doing certain things, going to certain restaurants. And sometimes you just have to, if that's the type of woman you're going to deal with, then you may have to keep that up if you're expecting certain things from her and for her to dedicate the attention to you. And that's just part of the game, guys, if that's what you want to deal with. That's why it's best to choose the right type of woman and know what you're dealing with and understand if you're going to make her wifey, if you want her to work, there's certain expectations that come with both. That's why I say you can never, in my opinion, you can never demand 100% submission and her to do certain things if you're not covering everything. If you're covering everything, you got a kept woman, you making her wifey, and you want her to be easy, have the kids, support you, help you out in your endeavors as well, then you have to be able to provide that lifestyle. If you can't, then you need to shut your ass up. You can get mad at this video all you want, guys. It is what it is. I hear what Bianca's saying, even though, she's got some things going on. you need to be able to provide that lifestyle if you're gonna talk the talk. You know what I mean? Just my opinion. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you guys like, share, comment, and subscribe. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. I'm out of here. Peace.